As the story continues, Filio and Rizu travel back to the Cryroad Kingdom to deliver the frenzied bears they defeated and to receive their rewards for the request. While in the Darabeza forest, Euliminus is checking the whole forest to investigate what just happened to the demon because she can't sense any demons around her. She doesn't even feel a trace of magic inside the forest, so she is wondering what really happened. Euliminus can't believe what she just saw and felt in the forest because she thinks that on the border between the Cryroad Kingdom, the core of the human race, and the territory of the Demon Lord's forces lies the forest. Because of that, she expected the forces of Fengalil to be encamped, but even among the 4 heavenly kings, their martial prowess is particularly strong. Out of nowhere, a bird flying in the forest passed Euliminus, and the bird landed on the head of Euliminus. Euliminus checked what was the thing on her head, and saw the bird that calmly landed on her. While she's just looking at the bird, she realizes that the silent ears reported correctly to the demon lord that the other demons really were exorcised. She remembers that the demon lord thinks that the one who cast the spell to exorcise the demons is a threat to the demon army, and they need to capture them immediately. Euliminus jumped as he remembered the order of the demon lord because she really wondered what kind of person or people the caster of spell was. Meanwhile, in the Cryroad territory, the northern forest, Filio, Rizu, Balirosa, and the others are discussing the training of the group of Balirosa. Filio insisted that before they started the training, he needed to understand and know everyone's ability. To do that, he thinks about something on his mind. He explained to the 4 members of the group, together with Balirosa, that he would have the group fight against the frenzied bear that he caught to understand and check their abilities. Because of that, Balirosa the knight started to show off and asked to try it first before the others. She uses her skill, Guard, where she uses her sword in fighting. As the fight between the knight and the frenzied bear started, Balirosa started to chant a spell to enhance her power and use it against the bear. However, before she finished chanting and introducing, the bear immediately attacked her with just its claw, making her sword fall to the ground. Balirosa insisted that the bear is cowardly and has some nerve to attack someone whilst they state their name. She added that it's against the code of chivalry. However, the frenzied bear didn't care about what Balirosa said and started to chase the Lady Knight. Balirosa started running and asking the bear to stay away from her. The other member of their group saw it and started to charge towards the bear that was chasing Balirosa. Blossom, the heavy knight, rushes towards the frenzied bear to help Balirosa. She swung her sword, making the bear step back. She didn't hit the bear because the bear dodged her attack. It was followed by a defensive magic that was activated by Bellano, the witch. She protected her colleague using her spells as a witch. Luckily, Bellano cast the spell before the frenzied bear hit Blossom. The defensive magic of the witch helps the heavy knight to avoid the attack of the bear. Right after the bear attack, the defensive spell by Relly, the archer, shot her attack towards the bear to distract the bear who was attacking Blossom. All the attacks from the archer by Relly didn't affect the bear and just hit the bear's back. The bear kept on attacking them, and the defensive spell of Bellano is about to disappear because she is running out of mana and she is feeling sick of the continuous usage of the spell. In the end, the 4 of them just kept on running from the bear and dodging its attacks. The chase continues to happen, so Filio makes it stop, thinking that the training is a lot worse than he imagined. Even Rizu can't believe that the group can't fight a frenzied bear. Filio asked Rizu and the group of Balirosa to go home and end the training for that day. He explained that the house they were living in was abandoned due to the havoc wreaked by the frenzied bear. He added that they bought it with the bounty they got from getting rid of the bear, so that the 4 members of the group have a base to train and hunt for monsters from. As they enter the house, they are all happy, even though it's a very dangerous area for a human to live. They are now looking at Rizu and Filio's pet since it appears that it likes its new sleeping place. The other member insists that Filio really can't put a price on the sense of security that comes from having a place to call your own. Sabia, their pet, is so comfortable and happy in his new place to live, and he happily sleeps on the bed while the other is admiring the cuteness of Sabia, the frenzied bear that transforms into a cute horned rabbit. Birelli sat beside Sabia and explained that it looks like it's really easy to get comfy when you're half bear, half rabbit, while Bellano was shocked to see an animal pen made by Filio. It makes the witch question Filio on what kind of magic Filio uses to create an annex. Blossom mentioned that Filio cleaned up most of the house interior, too, and it was followed by Balirosa explaining that it was all thanks to Filio's magic. Out of nowhere, Rizu appeared at the back of Filio, her dear husband, and she asked that the food be ready because she had finished cooking. Filio was so shocked by how fast Rizu cooked the food that they just hunted. As Rizu served the food to them, she proudly showed Filio and the group the fresh raw steaks of the frenzied bear they had just slayed and she had just prepared. All of them, aside from Rizu, were so disappointed and disguised with the food in front of them. However, Rizu proudly explained that it is a celebratory day after all because they just moved in, so she cut out a luxuriously large slice for every one of them. Filio politely explained to his wife, Rizu, that for people like them, who aren't demi-human like Rizu, the raw meat might be a little rough on the tummy. Because of that, Rizu cluelessly asked if she should go and sear the meat for them. Filio asked Rizu to just sit, and he will be the one to do it. He will cook the meat for them, so the other members of the group asked to help. Rizu was so clueless, thinking that the fresh meat is best served raw for them, and cooking the meat is just a waste. She was left alone at the table together with Sabia, who was enjoying his food, which was raw meat. Since Rizu was left alone at the table, she started to feel sad and checked for Filio in the kitchen cooking the raw meat. She saw that Filio was cooking the meat, and her husband was surrounded by other girls helping to cook, so she walked towards Filio. Riza gets closer to Filio and asks what Filio was doing. Her husband smiled at her while cooking, and asked her to come to think of it, that even when her husband went to the store, all he ever got was meat. Rizu saw how Filio cooked everything and observed what her husband did. After Filio cooked everything, he started to serve the food, and he hoped that it would suit the taste of the other. He cooked a hearty soup, a chopped vegetable salad, and a meat and spring herb stir-fry. Rizu saw the food that was served by her husband, and she was so amazed, asking how something so granulated could become something so fluffy. Everyone enjoyed the food and started eating, but Rizu is still hesitating to eat, thinking and asking in her mind if the others realize that the vegetables are fodder for those too weak to hunt for meat. Even though she is hesitating, she tries to take a bite of the food cooked by Filio. Riza started to take a bite and eat some of the food. As she tasted the food, she realized that the vegetables were so delicious that they made her drool and want more. Rizu kept eating and tasting every food. She is thinking that even the meat, which she can barely recognize, even though she brought it home herself, she realized she wouldn't get flavors this complex from simply searing it, and she thinks that all that time in the kitchen she's watching, she could barely understand what Filio and the other were doing. Rizu is not saying a thing, and is still thinking. She is talking with herself, asking if the food of the human race is something that humans spend so much effort on every single meal. The other day, Rizu and Filio gathered frenzied bears again to have a reward and earn money that they can spend to live. The receptionist and the other member of the guild were shocked that they brought quite the catch that day, too. The others can't believe that Filio and Rizu gather many frenzied bears because they have never ever seen that number of bears. They are all wondering how Filio and Rizu keep pulling those off every time. While beside the guild member are Filio and Rizu speaking with each other, minding their own business. Rizu asked if Filio would mind if she went to look around the town a bit while the receptionist assessed the value of the goods. Because of that, Filio asked if Rizu wanted to go together and look around the town. However, Rizu insisted that she didn't want to go with Filio and embarrassingly asked that it was really some more personal business she needed to attend to. Even though Filio wants to go with her wife, Rizu, he needs to look and wait for the value of the goods. Out of nowhere, Filio was called by the receptionist, so he let Rizu go alone. Filio was called by the receptionist and thanked him for his patience. He was asked to step over the door for a private word, so he went with the receptionist. Filio mentioned to Rizu that he would wait there with Sabia until the guild finished estimating the price for the bears. Rizu was so happy and expressed her gratitude to her husband. She insisted that she would be right back after her business in the town. She started walking to go out, and she's got to pull herself together. Outside the guild, Rizu is holding a flyer for Madame Melane's cooking course. She thinks that she can't even look after the pack, which her husband leads. She thinks that she is a disgrace to the women of the Fanged Wolf tribe. While Rizu is going to the cooking course, Filio is now speaking with the guild and receiving the bounty for subduing the frenzied bears. The total bounty is 1,300 gold coins, and the representative of the guild asked him to check if they counted it correctly. Filio finished counting the bounty, and the representative of the guild started to speak with him about the thing they wanted to discuss with Filio. The representative asked Filio if, in light of his recent meritorious deeds, the castle had asked about him. She asked if Filio would lend his powers to help the Cryrode Kingdom as an honorary knight serving under the hero. She added asking to extend the invitation personally. Filio was so surprised, thinking that the king was asking for his help. He can't believe that the king asks of him. The receptionist insisted that Filio defeated many A-rank monsters at the same time, so it means that Filio is very powerful. She added that she was just telling the truth, that they've never even seen adventurers capable of hunting frenzied bears with just 2 people. The guild really acknowledges the power of Filio, and that is why she must absolutely insist that Filio consider the offer. The receptionist kept on asking Filio to reconsider the offer, and added that for the sake of their world, Filio should lend his power to defeat the demons. Filio is thinking that he is getting the feeling that they are trying to fast-talk him there. He kept thinking that it's maybe because he is not from Cryrode. He guessed that it was true if he had lived all his life in the world of Cryrode, and he wouldn't need any more convincing. He kept thinking that it's not like he never thought about that hero, who is declared to be the patriotic hero and savior of the land. However, he apologized to the representative of the guild and declined the offer to him for helping and lend his power to the king. Filio insisted that he didn't really have any interest in that kind of thing, helping and lending powers to the king. He doesn't have any reason to fight the demon races, so he really declined the offer because his wife, Rizu, is part of the demon race. Filio leaves the room after declining the request. Sabia is on his shoulder, and out of nowhere, someone called him darling, while mentioning that it took quite a while for them to put a price on their bounty. Filio called Rizu, and she is so happy seeing her wife. He was so surprised seeing Rizu covered with dirt and having a lot of burns, but Rizu was so happy seeing Filio. He asked what happened to Rizu, and asked to show him the wound on Rizu. Filio was so worried, asking if a magic beast jumped at her or something. Rizu insists that it's really not it, and she can't explain what she really did to Filio since she wants to surprise Filio. Rizu can't decide if she can go tell Filio that her burns and wounds are from cooking. She just remembers some things that she did in the cooking class, where she destroyed a peeler, and thinks that she was gripping it that hard. However, Rizu is so dedicated to thinking that the cooking class she is attending is all for her husband. She promises that she is Fenris, shall not yield to something as simple as human cooking. Their life continued. Rizu attended the cooking class every time they were in town, frying food, cutting gently, and putting on some condiments. While they are helping Blossom hold the sword, Balirosa swings the sword, Bellano casts a spell, and Bairelli shoots an arrow. They kept living their life together, Filio, Rizu, and the 4 other girls, Balirosa, Blossom, Bairelli, and Bellano. 1 month later, Filio saw their garden, and he was so amazed that their garden had jumped right out of the ground because the plants really grew big and healthy. He was so happy seeing the beautiful garden full of plants. Thanks to Blossom, she insisted that it's nothing since she is the one who takes good care of the plants in the garden. She added that the soil around their house is quite something, and she guesses that she kind of ended up getting really serious about growing the garden. Blossom kneels and touches the head of Sabia while explaining to Filio that Sabia, their pet, helped her out too, to make the garden beautiful and healthy. Filio insists that Blossom and Sabia have gotten quite close. Sabia jumped and Blossom caught the horned rabbit while smiling. She insists that Filio just leave the field work to her and Sabia, so they got closer. Filio questioned himself why he got the feeling that Blossom doesn't apply herself nearly as much during sword practice. Near them, there's Rizu and Bairelli, and he heard that Bairelli is insisting that she can't do what Lady Rizu is asking her to do. Rizu explained that if all that Bairelli ever does is shoot at wooden targets, the archer will never get better. Bairelli answered that the target that Rizu want her to shoot are too cute and she will feel awful to hurt the creatures. The creature that Rizu wanted to shoot by Bairelli is a chicken with 3 eyes. The archer insisted that she could never shoot at those little creatures. However, Rizu explained that she was not telling Bairelli to shoot the creatures indiscriminately, and the 2 of them continued discussing the target, which caught the attention of Filio. While Rizu and Bairelli are still discussing, Filio walks towards Bellano. Filio asks the witch, Bellano, how the ring that he tried to improve for the witch. Not so far from them, Rizu was still insisting to Bairelli that the many-eyed bird meat was quite delicious, but Bairelli insisted that Rizu always tried to appeal to her appetite, and told Rizu that she couldn't do what she couldn't do. Bellano looks at Filio and shows the ring of magic that was made by Filio. The magic ring contains +5 magic for its user. She mentioned to Filio that she is bearing with the ring. Filio offered to Bellano for them to keep practicing and try the other one out next because the ring is still looking kind of sick. Filio placed his hand above the ring that Bellano was holding. He uses his magic towards the ring, and a magic circle appears. Filio explained to the witch that every time they attempted to quickly increase the mana of the ring, it would throw up. so he really ought to cut her a bit more slack. He asked why Bellano doesn't just wear his ring for the rest of the day, and then just take it off if Bellano feels too sick. The witch Bellano agreed with Filio and wore the ring slowly, while Filio walked away from her to check the others. As Bellano wore the magic ring, it gave her mana and increased her magic power. Out of nowhere, Rizu rushes behind her like a creep staring at the magic ring that was given to him by Filio. Rizu got jealous because of it, and Bellano explained that it's just for the magic inside the ring. Filio noticed the two, but someone caught his attention. It's Balirosa the Knight, calling Filio and asking for help. Balirosa is having a hard time defeating the huge caterpillar in front of her, even though it's part of their training. It might kill her, so she asked for help. As Balirosa called Filio to ask for help, Rizu rushes towards her coldly and immediately slashes the caterpillar that is attacking Balirosa. In a snap, the caterpillar was cut in half and made Balirosa surprised because she didn't notice Rizu. The wife of Filio, Rizu, creepily mentioned to Balirosa to cease the damsel in distress act, referring to the help that Balirosa is asking from Rudo. She insisted that Balirosa should easily be able to defeat a C-rank magical beast by that time, due to the training they all had. Rizu added that Balirosa doesn't even need the ability-enhancing ring that her husband, Filio, made, especially for Balirosa, since she is a knight and doesn't need it anymore. The night, Balirosa panicked and got scared while explaining that she didn't know what Rizu was talking about. Filio is just observing the group of Balirosa and Rizu, who is her wife. In his mind, he thinks that it's clear that all of them make a way better team than they did in the beginning, although it's still not great. However, he also thinks that the four ladies that he's leading don't really seem to like fighting in and of itself. He wonders if they are really continuing the training for their sakes because of what he is observing. However, Filio didn't stop helping others and just asked the group to head home soon because they had to start preparing dinner. Out of nowhere, Rizu appears beside him, calling him darling. Rizu explained to Filio that she didn't mean to be presumptuous, but she asked if Filio minded letting her cook the dinner. Filio was so surprised by what Rizu asked, thinking the last that Rizu had prepared their food. Even though Filio is hesitating and a little scared of what might happen to the food, he lets her wife cook. Back at their house, everything is ready. Rizu finished cooking and preparing the food. There was a lot of food on the table, and everyone was surprised that Rizu really did cook the food that time. Filio was excited and amazed by the food that her wife, Rizu, prepared for them. Everyone started to dig in, and Blossom couldn't believe how far Rizu had come from serving raw meat. As everyone tasted the food, they were all surprised by how delicious the food was. They kept on saying that the food is so good, and they are quite surprised. Filio insists that Rizu, his wife, is amazing and asked when Rizu learned to cook like that. Rizu explained to Filio that when they went to town to sell the frenzied bears, she went out and took a cooking course. She explained that at first, she wondered why they spent so much time on every little thing, and she thought it was so strange. Whereas before she used to treasure martial strength above all else, but it's different now because she is with Filio. Rizu added that rather than getting stronger, she takes more pleasure from slowly increasing the number of things she can do. She smiled and thought that she really had changed a lot ever since she had lived together with Filio. However, while Rizu, Filio, and the group of Balirosa are busy enjoying the dinner that was prepared by Rizu, outside their house is a cat lady. A Euliminus, she is spying and investigating the person who made the demon army vanish from the forest. She was so surprised to see that Fenris, one of the powerful demons in their army, was not surrounded by humans. She can't believe what Fenris or Rizu is doing, because it's different from what Fenris was doing before. As the story continues, Balirosa was wondering who their visitor, asking if the visitor had just said that she was the Demon King's close aide, and Blossom asked the others what they should do. However, Birelli is speechless due to fear, and Bellano is now pretending to be dead. Rizu introduced the visitor. It's the Hell Cat Euliminus, and she explained that the Hell Cat or Lady Cat is her former co-worker. While Rizu is introducing Euliminus, the Lady Cat is wondering how in the world her investigation into the situation she is in right now. When she finally found Fenris surrounded by humans, it happened that Fenris sensed her. As Euliminus enters the house, Balirosa and the group are hiding and just listening to the conversation where Filio is pouring tea for Euliminus. Filio apologizes because they can't welcome Euliminus with anything fancy and offers to make herself at home. In Euliminus' mind, she can't believe that a human would welcome a demon and treat it fairly. Filio also asked the other to have some tea that he had prepared for the visitor. The group of Balirosa declined the offer of Filio because they all fear the demon race as humans. Rizu asked if Euliminus suspects that the tea and cookies that her husband, Filio, has served were poisoned. Euliminus shakes her head side to side as a sign of no, because she didn't suspect Filio poisoning her, and even though he suspects Filio, she feared Rizu, who gave her a creepy look. Euliminus just added that she will gratefully savor the tea and cookies prepared for her by Filio. She just remembered earlier that same killing intentions that Rizu has. It's the same as when she was caught by Rusi stalking. She just realized that there's no doubt that the girl in front of her is Rizu or Fenris, one of the powerful demons in the army of the Demon King. Euliminus doesn't have a choice but to just go along with Rizu and the others to avoid fighting with Rizu. In her mind, she thinks that compared to when Rizu was in the Demon King's army, what exactly caused Rizu to change that much? She can't understand what happened to Rizu, and what is with the guy that Rizu is with. She is referring to Filio. Filio is so relaxed and offers anything that he could offer to Euliminus, who is their visitor. However, Euliminus is still asking herself why Filio can be so relaxed, thinking that there are two demons together in front of him. Euliminus is investigating Filio, and she is confident with her appraisal skills, so she uses them towards Filio, but she can't read the status of Filio at all. That kind of thing has never happened before, even when she used it on the Demon King, so she continues to wonder who Filio is. Euliminus started asking. She insists that the area around the place has changed so much. It caught the attention of Filio, and before he answered, Euliminus followed up with another question. She asked about the Delaveza forest, which is now really clean, and she didn't even see a single monster in there. Filio started to answer and remember the forest that Euliminus mentioned while sipping his tea. Out of nowhere, Filio calmly answered Euliminus that the purification magic that he was using by mistake was working perfectly, as it should be. Because of that, Euliminus happened to spit out the tea she was drinking due to surprise. She can't believe that Filio used purification magic, and a human like him did that. Euliminus panicked and started to get mad. She asked about what Fenris was following Filio, despite knowing about the purification magic spell that was used in the forest where the other demons are living. Euliminus points her finger at Rudo, explaining that Rudo is the very person who killed Fengrel, the brother of Fenris, together with Fengrel's whole army. She was so mad at Filio, but the man from another world was so shocked by what he had just heard because he was not aware of what he had done. Eulimenus continues explaining that they lost contact with Fengrel, who was putting up a camp in the Delavisa forest, and there's no mistaking it that Fenris or Rizu's brother is dead. Because of that, Rizu stopped Eulimenus from talking and asked the lady cat to be quiet. Rizu explained that her brother is a warrior of the Fong Wolf race, and her brother was killed against an overwhelming power, so she was sure that her brother had no grudge against it. Filio panicked and immediately asked if Rizu knew about all of that all along. Rizu just explained that there's only a smaller number of humans who can use purification magic after all, and she can guess it pretty much from the condition of the forest. Filio was so shocked and just confirmed that he really killed the brother of Fenris. However, Rizu insists that they were in the middle of a war, and if Filio is feeling sympathy for the dead, then he is only dishonoring the warriors. Rizu added that even if she may be so honest as to say that, although people call her brother one of the 4 Devis of the Demon King's army, she insists that it's her brother's fault for being so useless. Filio is having a hard time absorbing everything that he is hearing from Rizu and Eulimenus. He really can't believe what he's done. Rizu just smiles at him and explains to him that it's not something for Filio to worry about. But Filio still bothers about it and feels sorry for what happened to Rizu's brother. Eulimenus saw Filio close his fist and contain his emotion. She was surprised to see that Filio just answered that he understood what Fenris explained. The lady cat realized that Filio is level-headed enough to hold back his emotions, and she really expected it from someone that Fenris is following. Because of that, Eulimenus thinks that if Filio is the target, then it means that Fenris has sided with the humans too. She immediately gets the attention of Filio and asks him to have a mock battle with her. Eulimenus added that she is quite interested in the power of Filio, since even Fenris can't win against Filio. In her mind, she thinks that once both of them have lowered their guards, she will take them out at the same time. Filio didn't know what to answer, but Eulimenus is very happy and sure about her plan for the mock battle she was asking about. Fenris insists to Filio that Eulimenus may be asking for a mock battle, but she is sure that Eulimenus is planning to kill Filio. Fenris, who is now known as Rizu, stops her husband, Filio, from fighting the lady cat, Eulimenus. Because of that, Fenris and Eulimenus start shouting at each other, because the lady cat insists that she would not do that. Filio tries to stop the two from fighting, while the group of Balirosa is just watching and listening. Balirosa just heard that Filio defeated one of the Demon King's army, called the 4 Devis, and she can't believe how Filio did it. Blossom asked if it's serious, and how it's possible for Filio to defeat one of the 4 Devis of the demon army. Birelli adds another question about what they heard about the 3. They also can't believe that Eulimenus called Rizu Fenris, meaning that Filio's wife is the Fenris they just fought in the Delavisa forest. Because of the too much information that the group of Balirosa learned from the conversation of Rizu, Filio, and Eulimenus, they all fainted, and Sabia turned into his bear form to get them out of their room and take their rest to their rooms. In the end, Filio agreed and accepted the mock battle that Eulimenus was asking for. He insisted that the mock battle would be a one-on-one duel, and the winner would be decided when one of them surrenders. He added that they may use magic during the fight, so Eulimenus can start whenever the lady cat wants. While Filio is stretching his arm, Eulimenus positioned herself and attacked immediately before she finished saying that they should start immediately. Eulimenus is so powerful and quick. In a snap, she leaves where she was standing, and she jumped high in the sky to start attacking Filio with her claw that was enhanced by magic. The lady cat starts using magic, and the magic circle appeared as she cast the cat venom claw spell. Euliminus swung her claw together with the spell, and she thought that while Filio and Rizu were focused on the cat venom claw, she would focus on her main goal. Euliminus thinks to cast a deadly poison magic from below the ground, and it's two simultaneous attacks that might finish the two who are busy with the cat venom spell. However, before Euliminus cast the deadly poison magic from below, Filio used forced a spell that broke the spells of Euliminus. The lady cat was so shocked by the spell cast by Filio, she couldn't believe that Filio dispelled both spells that she cast in an instant. Euliminus is still trying to understand what's happening and why she can't move her body while she's in midair. Filio just explained that he is the one who accepted the mock battle that was requested, so he's also responsible if the worst possible scenario happens and he gets killed. Filio cast a paralyzing magic towards Euliminus, so the lady cat couldn't move. He madly insists to Euliminus that he can't forgive the lady cat for aiming at Rizu too. Rizu insists to Filio that she can protect herself very well, too, so Filio should focus on their mock battle. Filio just replied that since Euliminus was aiming poison magic at Rizu, it makes her angry enough to show the cat lady more of his power. Euliminus is now lying on the ground and can't move because of the spell of Filio. On the other hand, Euliminus is now on the ground, thinking that Filio is a very dangerous man, and it's frustrating, but she has no other choice but to withdraw. She thinks that she must report what just happened, and what she just learned to the Demon King, as soon as possible. She surrendered, and Filio let her go. A few days later, knights from the kingdom came to Filio's house. They are asking for Filio to lend his power to the kingdom, but Filio's answer remains. He explained that, like he has been saying, his answer won't change no matter how many times they come there. He added that he has no wish to accept the call to arms from the castle, so the knight should go back. Rizu is now getting persistently annoyed with the knight because she can't even count how many times the knights have come in just a month. She asked if she should threaten the knight so they won't come to their house again. However, Filio stopped his wife and asked Rizu to calm down. He explained that the knights just came there because it's their job to follow orders from a king. Rizu clarified if it's really alright for Filio to decline the request. She explained that Filio doesn't have to worry about the fact that Rizu is a demon, and Filio can just accept the invitation. Filio insists that even if Rizu weren't a there or a demon, after all, the kingdom kicked him out after it labeled him for not being good enough to be a hero. Filio added that since he came to the world of Cryrode, he has been able to use magic, but in the end, it's something that he has borrowed. Filio thinks that if he makes even the slightest mistake while using this unfamiliar power, it will cause a disaster. So he asks Rizu to forget the whole world because he already has his hands full protecting their daily lifestyle. Rizu explained that Filio's modesty is a commendable thing, but for the human who labeled Filio as a failure of a hero, it's a big loss for them. Filio answered that humans just reap what they sow, though. Out of nowhere, Euliminus came. She called Filio, and she thanked Filio for the hospitality the other day. Euliminus is riding a flying dragon in the sky. She added that, as a thank you to the hospitality of Filio, she brought with her the elite squad of the Demon King's army, so she will return the favor with the power of the dragon army. Balirosa was shocked to see the dragon army. It's the legendary squad that has annihilated countless human armies in the past. Even Blossom saw it and thought that there were so many dragons and powerful enough to fight with. Euliminus asked Phileo if they would surrender and pledge their loyalty to the Demon King, thinking that Phileo would get scared of the dragon army. However, it's different. Phileo just gets more excited seeing the dragon army with Euliminus. That is the first time that Phileo has seen the real dragon in person, and he can't believe that the dragons are in front of him. Because of that, Euliminus wonders how Phileo reacts to the dragon army she brought. Rizu asked if Phileo didn't have dragons in Phileo's previous world. Phileo just happily explained that there were times when he had items made from dragon scales, but was very rare. He added that even the chance of seeing one was considered almost impossible for him. Phileo also insisted that although he heard a rumor of a certain place where the master of that land had made a contract with dragons and had become a dragon knight. Because Rizu and Phileo are busy chatting and not afraid of the dragon army that Euliminus brought, the lady cat gets mad and insists that Phileo stop playing around. Euliminus started to command the dragon to attack, and the dragon opened its mouth to burst out a fireball towards Phileo. Euliminus asked Phileo to just go ahead and die since she thinks that Phileo is just going to look down on the power of the Demon King's army. Phileo's reflexes are so fast that and immediately notices the attack, so he reacts quickly. Phileo, using holy magic, smites the dragons that try to unleash a powerful fireball attack. The holy magic made Euliminus jump out of the dragon, because as the magic hit the dragon, they started to burn. In just a blink of an eye, the dragon fell one by one as they burned by the very powerful smite of Phileo. Euliminus can't believe that even the strongest dragons in the Demon King's army were defeated, and they have all been annihilated by the thunder magic of Phileo. She can't believe the overwhelming power of a Phileo who is just a human. The other dragons that dodged the magic of Phileo started to fly away and get back to the Demon King's castle. They left Euliminus, who is now madly asking why the dragon is running away and asking the dragon to come back to help her fight. The group of Balirosa started to rush towards Phileo to check what had just happened. They started cheering for Phileo, thinking that he was something amazing. Blossom insists that if she had known this would happen, she should have thrown something like the hoe in the middle of the fight, too. She added that if it went well, she might have gotten the Dragon Slayer title after all. Phileo asked her to try it while the dragons are still there. Blossom was surprised and asked if she could really throw it towards the dragons. Phileo asks Blossom to throw it, and he will help the hoe reach the dragons. The heavy knight, Blossom, throws the hoe he is holding with full force, and while it's in midair, Phileo uses magic to enhance it. The hoe's holy element, piercing, speed, and high damage were augmented because of the spell that Phileo used. The weapon that was thrown travels at the speed of light, containing a destructive power, and it hits one of the dragons that is trying to fly away, making the hoe pierce the body of the dragon, making the dragon defeated. Blossom was so shocked by what she just saw, she couldn't believe that the weapon she just threw ended the life of one of the legendary dragons. Phileo checked the status of Blossom right after defeating the dragon, and he confirmed that Blossom got the Dragon Slayer title on her status, and she got a huge level up. Blossom and the others can't believe it, making the other get jealous and want to try it too. They didn't know that back in the Demon Lord's castle, the Demon Lord was observing their movement and what was happening. The Demon Lord saw how Balirosa asked to do the same, so she could be a dragon slayer too. However, Filio declined the request because he can't do it again unless he can see the target. As the Demon Lord observed Filio, he realized that Filio was not even a hero, but just a mere adventurer. He can't believe that Filio can use that kind of magic at a high level. He started to move, so the other member of the demon army panicked and stopped Gul, the Demon Lord. They insisted that there is no need for the Demon Lord to meet Filio in person because he still has the 4 Devis. The Demon Lord Gul insists that the strongest of the 4 Devis, Fengrel, and even the dragon army were annihilated easily by Filio. He added that he can't let any more of his subordinates do a meaningless death. He insisted that there's no need to worry because he is planning to do a bit of probing. The Demon Lord changes his appearance and making him look like a human. He insisted that if the violence won't work, how about they talk with Filio using human language? The demon army didn't know what the Demon Lord was thinking, and they couldn't stop it from going. Back in the house of Filio, Blossom and the others are remembering how Blossom became a dragon slayer because it still doesn't feel real to her since Filio helped her do it using magic. Birelli insisted that she never thought that a great title owner would emerge from their party. Bellano called Blossom the Ho user, and they started having fun. Bellano continues teasing Blossom and insisting that Blossom is the legendary dragon slayer Ho, while Blossom is happily asking her to stop because it sounds so lame for her. Then out of nowhere, Balirosa leaves the room out, so Bellano asks the Lady Knight where Balirosa is going. Balirosa explained that she will go hunting for their daily monster Quite, and she immediately leaves the room to hunt. As Balirosa leaves, Birelli insists that Balirosa is so stoic and hard-working. Blossom added that it is all thanks to Filio that she was able to get the title of Dragon Slayer, and she needs to be at least like Balirosa, who can take out a C-rank monster all by herself. It also fueled Bellano to train and work harder that day. On the other hand, Balirosa has already entered the forest and is looking for monsters to fight and collect. In Balirosa's mind, she also wanted the Dragon Slayer title that Blossom had because of the help of Filio. The Dragon Slayer title is such a prestigious title that would let anyone with that title be a noble, and it's something that all adventurers yearn for. Balirosa thinks that if she could only get that title, she would be a noble again. She remembers that after Filio helped Blossom, the dragons flew away already, and Filio couldn't do it again unless he saw the dragon, so she failed to kill a dragon that time. She blames herself because she was one step too late, and she would be able to instantly revive her family's name that has fallen to ruin if she had just become a dragon slayer. Balirosa also thinks that Filio is already married, so she really is unlucky for someone who can use such powerful magic. If she can bring Filio into her family, then she would be able to bring back the past when her father was still a knight and regain their position as a noble family. However, they can get invited to the capital again. While Balirosa is alone in the forest, she thinks that she can still have the choice of employing Filio as a magic knight for her family. She really thinks about how Filio can get affiliated with her family somehow, so they can be noble again. However, while she was busy thinking, she noticed a person pass by her side. The person that Balirosa saw is the Demon Lord, but she doesn't know about it because he changes his appearance. Balirosa is hiding in a tree near the man, and she is observing what the man is doing and what kind of person the man is. She thinks that the man is poorly equipped to be in the middle of a forest full of monsters. Balirosa also thought that the man might be spying on their home, so she prepared her sword and positioned herself to confront the man. The Lady Knight, Balirosa, started to confront and face the man. She asked who the man was, and the demon lord noticed the Lady Knight. Balirosa smiles and asks if the man is an acquaintance of Filio or Rizu because it seems that the man is looking at their home. The Lady Knight happily asks the man, but is prepared to fight. The demon lord stared before he answered because he saw that Balirosa was smiling, but the Lady Knight in front of him was holding the sword and gripping it tightly, getting ready to engage in a fight. He just realized that one wrong move or answer, his disguise would fail, so he replied that he was an old friend of Filio's wife, and he heard that Rizu is living there now, so he came to pay a visit. Balirosa's smile started to vanish as she heard the reply of the demon lord. Balirosa immediately pulled her sword and pointed it at the throat of the demon lord, and explained that since the man in front of her is an acquaintance of Rizu, it means that the man is a member of the demon army. Balirosa added that Rizu has cut her ties with the demon army and decided to live together with her human husband, Filio, and asked what business the man has with Rizu. Balirosa introduced herself and insisted that, depending on the man's answer, she might have to kill the man. However, the demon lord just raised both of his hands, showing that he surrendered. The demon lord replied that he is indeed a demon, but he is really just there to take a look that day, and he will just return if the Lady Knight is not fine with him checking Rizu. Because of that, Balirosa decided that the man in front of him would not cause harm to Rizu or Filio, and she insisted that she would pull back her sword too. She added that she will give Rizu the message of the man if the man has anything he wants to say. The demon lord mentioned to Balirosa to tell Rizu that if it's okay with Rizu, he wants to talk about the past with Rizu over a cup of tea. Balirosa agreed with it and confirmed that she will deliver the message. She also asked for the man's name, who is the demon lord. The man just answered that his name is Gozaru and he is about to provide his real name as the demon lord, but he stopped himself. Balirosa was so shocked when the man left, and she thought that the man had a strange name. In his mind, she really doesn't understand how the demons give names. While Balirosa watches the man leave, Filio and Rizu are rushing towards her and calling her. Filio was so concerned and asked if Balirosa was okay or safe. He was so worried that Balirosa was hurt or had gotten into a fight with the demon lord, but Balirosa was not aware that the man he had just spoken with was the demon lord. Rizu explained that the man or geezer that Balirosa spoke with should have picked a better name if the man wanted to use a fake name. Balirosa still wonders and asks what fake name Rizu is saying. Filio explained to Balirosa, the Lady Knight, that the anti-demon barrier was triggered, so he hurriedly came to where Balirosa was. He continued explaining to the Lady Knight that when they saw Balirosa pointing his sword at the man, he confirmed to Rizu that the man Balirosa was talking with was the Demon King, because when Filio looked into the man, there was a Demon King in the man's status. Balirosa can't believe what she just heard and realized that she just pointed her sword towards the Demon Lord, so she asked if Filio was joking. However, Rizu explained that there's no reason for them to lie, and she is sure that the Demon Lord came here after Euliminus reported to him. Balirosa was speechless after what she heard, realizing what she had done. She started to sweat badly and thought that she had just pointed his sword at the Demon King and treated it like a normal human. She was so terrified that she's going to get killed because of that. Meanwhile, in the Demon Castle, Gul, the Demon King, already got home and was thinking about what had just happened. Euliminus asked if the Demon King got anything from visiting Philio's house, and the Demon King just answered that he wasn't able to enter their house. Euliminus was shocked as the Demon King continued explaining that maybe it was because of Euliminus's attack that Philio put a powerful anti-demon barrier trap around their home. He added that he wasn't able to get close to the house because of that. However, the Demon King added that he did get some results. He mentioned Balirosa, the Lady Knight he speaks with. He explained that the lady has a gallant appearance and has the courage to throw away her life for her master. He added that the Lady Knight Balirosa has decisiveness and is willing to put her life on the line. The Demon King insisted that Balirosa is just a mere human, but quite interesting. He started to think more about Balirosa. The other morning, the Demon Lord came again and entered the house of Philio. Rizu can't believe that the Demon King really came to their house, and it's still using the appearance of a man he used before. Philio explained to Rizu, who is so mad that the Demon King has come all the way to visit them. Philio welcomed the Demon King and asked if it was okay to call him Gozaru. The Demon King agreed to call him Gozaru and apologized for bothering Philio. While the Demon King and Philio enter the house, Philio greeted Balirosa and Gozaru smiled as he saw the Lady Knight. However, Balirosa acted weird in front of the Demon King because she was so scared of what she did, so Gozaru felt bad and tried to ask Balirosa to join them for a tea. While they are eating and sipping tea, the Demon King starts to explain the reason why he paid a visit. He mentioned that it seems that one of his subordinates had caused Philio some trouble the other day. While the two are talking, Balirosa questions herself on why she is even at the tea party and sits right beside the Demon King. She got more scared because of it. Out of nowhere, Rizu asked Gozaru if the Demon King was in Philio's house to take revenge or something. Balirosa really wants to run away, but her legs won't move, and she can't stand because of the fear she feels sitting right beside the Demon King. Gozaru started to explain that Rizu doesn't like it when people go the roundabout way after all, so he gets straight to the point and the reason why he came. Demon King Gozaru asked Philio to join the Demon King's army, and Philio immediately declined the offer from Gozaru. He just smiled at Gozaru after declining. Gozaru clarifies that Philio won't accept it even when the Demon King himself made that offer directly to him without any intermediary. He added that for Cryroad Kingdom, he is sure that the kingdom would do anything to get Philio's power. He asked why Philio is hiding his power and separating himself from the kingdom. Philio explained that just because you are a human, you should side with the human race. He explained to Gozaru that it's the wrong way of thinking. He added that since he's not someone from their world, he doesn't even know why he is waging war in a world where demons are fighting humans. The answer of Philio surprised the Demon King. Rizu asked the Demon Lord if no one had told him that there's no need to soil her darling's ear since Philio doesn't wish for the war. Philio was surprised by what Rizu said to the Demon King, who was also surprised by Philio's answer. After thinking, Gozaru just understands and thinks about the reason for the war. He explained that the war between the humans and demons started 500 years ago when the first Demon King descended after all, so he is sure there's no longer anyone around who really understands the real reason behind it. Philio thinks that it's crazy that the war between humans and demons has been ongoing for 500 years. Gozaru tells the story to Philio, explaining that one day, from the other world, a foreigner who wished to rule the world descended into their world. In short, it was the first Demon King, but at that time, the demons were oppressed by humans. He added that he heard that it was the start of the war against the humans who rejected him, and when the demon accepted that person as their ruler. Rizu got mad because Gozaru started telling the story to Filio, so he asked if Gozaru was listening to her. As Gozaru continued the story, he explained that the longer the war lasts, the deeper the grudge created from it. There was a time when the power of the demons that were created by the fourth Demon King was misused by humans, and as a result, they killed everyone without differentiating their races, and half of the lives in their world were erased. He insisted that the war can't be easily stopped. Out of nowhere, Gozaru asked if Filio was actually thinking of stopping the war. It made Filio shocked and speechless. He insisted that after changing from one Demon King to another 12 times, their way of thinking also has changed, and he, as the current Demon King, has no wish to rule the world. However, Gozaru added that he's still the king of the demons, and the power of the human army that threatens the demon kingdom is something that he can't simply ignore. An aura and dark particles started to release from his body. Gozaru asked Filio not to don't make things worse and just join the Demon King's army. However, Filio insisted that Gozaru thinks too highly of him, but he has no wish to join either side. Filio calmly declined Gozaru again while he smiled. Blossom, Bellano, and Birelli are just watching and hiding through the door. They started to get scared about what might happen, but Rizu just sipped tea and waited for his husband, Filio, to finish talking with Gozaru. Out of nowhere, the Demon King laughed and insisted that Filio is a man with a strong will. He just realized that the headstrong attitude of Filio must be what made the Human King retreat too. He added that he was planning to make Filio sympathize with them and join the demon army, but he just realized that it won't work too. Filio smiles and says that he is glad that Gozaru is someone who has a better understanding. Rizu can't believe that she saw the straight-faced Demon King laughing in front of her. Gozaru stands up and insists that it's not like he had given up already, so he will come again. Filio replied that Gozaru is always welcome to come anytime. The Demon King, Gozaru, started to walk outside and just noticed Balirosa, the Lady Knight, who caught his attention. In Gozaru's mind, he just realized that aside from Filio, there's another human who doesn't go pale in front of the pressure of a Demon King, and it's Balirosa. He just remembered the name of the Lady Knight who spoke with him face to face, and he thought that Balirosa is an interesting human after all. As the Demon King leaves the house of Filio, the three friends of Balirosa rush towards the Lady Knight, who is not moving anymore. They asked if Balirosa is okay because they think that it's not good as Balirosa has fainted already with her eyes open. Bellano insists that Balirosa really did well when the Demon King spoke with Filio and got a hold of herself. A few weeks later, inside the Demon Castle, the Demon King started to walk outside to go to Filio's house, but Euliminus insisted that it was dangerous to keep coming to Filio's house. Gozaru, the Demon King, insists that it's not dangerous compared to the kings of the other human kingdoms, who won't even listen to him. He added that Filio is quite an understanding human, and if they can win over Filio, there's nothing better than that. Gozaru didn't let Euliminus stop her, and he commanded the Lady Cat, Euliminus, that he would leave the palace to her. Euliminus thinks that since the Demon King keeps visiting Filio, there are demons who are bad-mouthing him. The rumors are saying that the Demon King has sided with Filio, or that the Demon King is working hard to get on the good side of a human. The lady cat Euliminus, the right hand of the Demon King, is really doubting if the Demon King is only visiting to persuade Phileo. However, Gozaru, the Demon King, can't be stopped. He kept visiting Phileo and trying to persuade the human with extraordinary powers. He started to fly and leave the demon castle. On the other hand, Gozaru, or Gul, the Demon King, thinks that Phileo can make a Demon King like him come visit many times, but he is not mad at Phileo because of how the human, Phileo, treats him. Every time he goes to Phileo's house, it always coincides with when Balirosa goes out to do something, and he really wants to talk with Balirosa if it's possible. The Demon King started to have feelings for the Lady Knight, Balirosa. While the Demon King is traveling towards the house of Phileo, he notices something. He senses the presence of a lot of people gathered, and it's coming from Phileo's house. Inside the house of Phileo, Balirosa, and the others are peeking from inside, checking what those outside their house are doing. They started to get scared and asked if they were in some kind of nightmare. Blossom can't believe what the things outside their house, and they think that there's no good thing in getting involved with the person they saw outside. Riza got pissed, thinking that the people outside are so rude to show up without notice. She asked if her husband, Phileo, wanted her to go and clean up the people outside. However, Phileo is still kind and slowly welcomes the people outside and stops her wife from doing something bad. Outside their house are the blonde hero knight together with the kingdom's army of knights. Phileo thinks that the word welcome doesn't really fit the situation they have right now with the people outside and her wife inside the house. The blonde hero knight, together with his horse, walks towards Phileo and calls him a commoner. He added that he knew Phileo was communicating with the demons and asked Phileo to choose right there whether Phileo would join them or die in their place. Meanwhile, in the Cryrode Kingdom, a report came that a demon is frequently visiting the house of an adventurer named Phileo. The king hired a spy who reported everything to him for the past few days, and has been confirmed multiple times that the man flew to the Demon Kingdom's territory. They think that it's a certain suspicious man who keeps visiting the adventurer Phileo's house. The king can't believe the report about the demons and Phileo. He thinks that not only has Phileo rejected the call from him as a king 3 times, he also thinks that Phileo is even planning to side with the demons. Because of the report, the king decided to gather all the soldiers to move, but he was stopped by her daughter, the princess of the kingdom. The princess insists that rather than keep demanding Phileo on what the king wants, they should talk with Phileo, who is an adventurer. She added that if they send their soldiers to Phileo's house when it has not been decided if Phileo really sided with the demon lord's army, then Phileo's opinion for the kingdom of Cryrode will definitely worsen for sure. The king just got mad at what the princess told her, and he insisted that the first princess should stop talking and shut up. He asked if the princess really thinks that she can build a country with only idealism, and insisted that there's a limit on how much the princess can keep dreaming. However, the princess is hard-headed and tries to argue, but before she tries to explain her side, the blonde hero knight comes. The blonde hero asked what the king and the princess are doing since there's a better way to handle Phileo. He insisted that they should stop wasting their time there and let him handle things. He added that if Phileo won't accept their demand, then they just need to make Phileo obey them. He asked the king to give him the soldiers, and he would use treason as an excuse and make Phileo choose. Since the blonde hero knight insisted to the king that he would handle things with Phileo, they gathered at Phileo's house and spoke with the adventurer. He asked whether Filio would become his subordinate in his request to subjugate the Demon Lord, or just die there as a Demon Lord associate. The others heard what the blonde hero said, so they insisted that it was just an oppression and should consider their situation as well. They try to explain and protect Filio from the army and the hero. Because of what they say, the hero insists that they did not understand anything and clarified that Filio and the others are under suspicion of betraying humanity, which might even cause their defeat. He added that if Filio is going to serve under him, they might let everything slide. However, Balirosa got pissed and mentioned that the hero always runs from dangerous battles, so the hero is now going to use force in a time like that. The hero was so clueless about how Balirosa knew about it. The Lady Knight Balirosa insists that what the hero is doing is kind of blackmail. She asked if the Knights of the Cryroad Kingdom, together with the hero, have that kind of way of doing things to blackmail a simple adventurer just to get what they want. Blossom, the Heavy Knight, also agreed with Balirosa. She also asked if the hero always locks himself inside the safe, for despite being the hero himself. Bellano and Birelli also agreed with it and insist on how the blonde hero acts during battles. Because of that, the blonde hero got mad and insisted that the four ladies are nothing but weaklings who can't even protect their own home without the help of other people. He added that they should know their place and make his horse run towards Balirosa. The horse raised its front feet, acting like it would attack Balirosa, but before it hit Balirosa, Filio protected the Lady Knight from getting hurt and used a barrier magic that deflected the horse. The blonde hero was shocked by what he saw and shaken a little bit because of what Filio did. However, instead of being mad, Filio mentioned that the blonde hero is correct, and since he meant to properly know his place, he judged that he would not be much help for the kingdom, so which is why he refused the call 3 times. He added that, on the other hand, he doesn't have any wish to fight either of the two races, so he doesn't want to side with either demons or humans. Filio just smiles and calmly explains everything to the blonde hero. Filio just decided that they will just leave the land and cast a teleportation spell below him, together with the Rizu and their house. The blonde hero was shocked by what Filio was planning to do instead of fighting him or siding with them. Filio just asked Rizu if it would be okay with his wife to leave the land, and Rizu just replied that she doesn't mind as long as she can be together with Filio. Before Filio fully cast the spell, Balirosa and the other rushed towards him and grabbed his arm, asking to take them with Filio too. Filio was surprised by what the others did and asked that the ladies needed to return to the castle. The knights around them started to listen as Balirosa clarified that they had been taught from their childhood that they had to defeat the demons. She added that after they see how close Filio and his wife, Rizu, are together with the man who always comes there for a tea, they are not really sure now whether fighting the demon army is the right thing to do. She insisted that if she kept serving under the Cryroad Kingdom, which would blackmail its own people, she wouldn't be worthy to face her father, who was once a great knight. Balirosa, Blossom, Birelli, and Bellano have all decided to go with Filio, and they are waiting for the decision of Filio. Because of their dedication, Filio agreed to bring the 4 ladies together with them as they leave the land of Cryroad. Filio cast the teleportation spell to bring the house together with Rizu, Blossom, Balirosa, Birelli, and Bellano to the village where they sold the dragon's meat. In just a blink, the magic circle below them started to light things up and emitted a magic. Everyone was shocked. The blonde hero and the knights were left alone in the place, and as they all opened their eyes, Filio and the others, together with the garden and the house, were all gone. The light that blinds them for a second vanished together with Filio after casting the teleportation spell, leaving a pit or hole where the garden and the house are standing. The knights surrounding Filio and the place can't believe that Filio, together with the house and other people, vanished in a snap. They got terrified too at how powerful Filio is for casting a teleportation spell. It's too late when they realize that even the house and the field had vanished together with Filio. They think that it's impossible that Filio can use a wide-range teleportation magic. While in the blonde hero's mind, he was shocked that Filio used the teleportation magic unlike other heroes like him. He can't believe that there are other people who can use the magic, and Filio uses it without a sweat. While the blonde hero and the knights are wondering, someone came from nowhere looking for Filio. It's the demon lord Gul. He can't believe that the house of Filio was gone. The knights panicked as they saw the demon lord and confirmed that the man in front of them was the man who kept visiting Filio's house. The kingdom's army prepared itself to fight, while the demon king just realized that the knight riding a horse was the new hero of Cryrode Kingdom. Since the demon king has just come there, the knights point their weapons towards him. He thought that Filio was gone because of the actions of the blonde hero knight and the Cryrode's kingdom's army. He whispered that the kingdom and the knights just can't stop getting in on his way of having fun. The demon king started to get mad and emitted a dark aura. He insisted that he had no choice but to make the blonde hero knight and the kingdom's army know their place. He started to use his power, and the knights around him started to fly away from him because of the intense magic he had. The demon king is so mad that he transforms into his original form. He shouted, which made the knights kneel and cover their ears. He calls all of his soldiers to gather up and attack the magic kingdom, Cryrode. Gul has decided to destroy the kingdom together with its people. The demon king commanded his soldiers to show the Cryrode kingdom the real power of the demons. Euliminus, who is in the demon castle, was shocked. Even the blonde hero knight couldn't believe that they were now facing the demon king. The lady cat confirmed that every demon heard the demon king asking them to gather because he was already in the front late. She insisted that they not dare to be late and rushed towards the Cryrode kingdom. While the knights are trying to engage in battle and waiting for the blonde hero knight to command them, their hero asks them to retreat and starts to run together with his horse. Inside the castle of Cryrode Kingdom, the magician reported to the king what had happened. He explained that it's as though a declaration of war echoed throughout their territory. They have confirmed that a huge army of demons is heading towards them from the demon kingdom. He insisted to the king that they had to gather all the mages in their kingdom and immediately prepare to cast a purification spell. The king is hesitant to use the purification spell because of what might happen to the mages of the kingdom after the spell. However, his right-hand magician insists that if they don't stop the demons from invading, their kingdom will be no more. He is rushing the king to give them the order because both the preparation and chanting take quite a lot of time. The Cryrode Kingdom became a battlefield as the demons attacked the humans, and the knights were just retreating because the demons were too powerful for the human knights that don't have magic. Due to the demon lord's swift attack with 100,000 soldiers, all of the humans' defenses in Cryrode Kingdom are already breached. They wonder how long the northern fort of the kingdom will be able to hold the demons off. The people inside the kingdom are panicking and doing their best to help fight the demons, but they were shocked that the blonde hero knight just locked himself inside the northern fort again. The people asked to drag the blonde hero knight out to help with the battle. Their magic kingdom, Cryrode, is the closest human kingdom to the demon territory, as well as the biggest human kingdom in the world, so their position as a bastion of defense is really important. For humans who are weaker than the demons, they can only fight the demons using their development in magic. If the kingdom of Cryrode, where all the human mages gather, loses the war, then it's equal to the loss of all humanity. The right-hand magician of the king is still asking for the king's order about casting the purification spell to fight and defend their kingdom against the demons. While the king and his right-hand magician are arguing on what to do, the demons, and together with the demon lord, already defeated most of the human knights and breached some part of the kingdom. The other demons are waiting for an order from their king, and they have already surrounded the kingdom of Cryrode. Ghoul thinks that they just need to stop attacking and leave the humans alone. He asked Euliminus and the other to retreat because he saw the reconnaissance squad. Euliminus asked why they are not going to push forward and crush the humans. However, the Demon King had already decided to retreat for that time. Ghoul, the Demon King, explained that the purification magic will come soon, and he asked Euliminus not to don't get any of their soldiers caught in it. Because of that, Euliminus understands why they need to retreat and follow the order of their king. She asked the demon army to go back to their territory and retreat. The Cryrode Kingdom's mages started to chant and cast the purification spell, but it was too late because Ghoul had already asked the demons to retreat. He explained that there is no problem retreating from there because they have already successfully reached their goal. As the purification spell was cast with the help of all the mages around the Cryrode Kingdom, it successfully made the demons retreat and a wide range of spells on a magic circle appear, protecting the whole kingdom from the invading demons. Inside the Cryrode Castle, in front of the great shrine, the priest and the princess are speaking. The princess expresses her gratitude, saying thank you for the purification spell, because the demon lord's army is retreating, and they won't be able to approach the land protected by the purification spell. The priest insists that until the purification magic's effect wanes, they should be safe for that time from the demons. The princess was surprised by what the priest said, that they are just safe for a moment, and the purification spell will be gone soon. She just realized that the kingdom is in bad condition already, and it might be bad for them when the demons attack again, since the spell is gone. She insisted that all of the mages in their kingdom have depleted their magic and have fallen unconscious. They will need at least 2 to 3 months to fully recover from the damage they received from the demons. Even the king, her father, was a mage too, who was unconscious and had depleted his magic. Until her father wakes up and follows the rule of Cryrode, she will be taking the king's position as the first princess. The first princess insists that her authority is to revoke the blonde hero knight's position as the hero of the Cryrode Kingdom. Everyone was shocked by her order about the hero. Because of that, the priest asked if they should prepare themselves for summoning the next hero candidates, but the princess insisted that they don't have enough manpower for the summoning, so they should not call for another hero candidate. She explained that for all those great people that they summon as the hero candidate, they keep sending them to the demon territory without any chance of winning. The princess can't agree with the summoning ritual anymore, and it should be stopped. She added that she already knew that they were cornered by the demons and ordered to call a prophet. Meanwhile, in the Cryroad Kingdom's basement, the blonde hero knight is hiding. He is so mad at the first princess for doing what the princess wants like it was nothing, since he was revoked as the country's hero. The servant who is always with the blonde hero knight asked him that since the blonde hero knight lost his position as the country's hero, he also lost all the money that he had. She asked what the blonde hero knight will be going to do from that time. The blonde hero was surprised that the servant is still calling him a hero. The servant didn't answer why and asked if the reason he came to the treasury room was because the blonde hero knight had no wish to give up his title as the hero. The blonde hero insists that he would rather die than live there as a commoner after all. Since he was inside the treasury of the greatest human kingdom, he thought that he could at least find something that he could use to fight the demon lord. He is dedicated and has decided to defeat the demon lord and continue his life as the hero. In his mind, he is jealous and badly wants to have great skills like Filio. He questioned himself on why he wouldn't have powers even though he was chosen as the hero of that kingdom. Out of nowhere, someone whispers to him, asking if he wishes for a power. He panicked, so he asked who whispered and asked him about having power. The servant is clueless about who the hero is speaking with. The whispers continue. It's asking if the blonde hero wishes for power because the whisperer might be willing to help the blonde hero. He got irritated as the whispers continued, and he felt some sympathy for him. He asked what the whisperer meant and wanted with him. The whisperer asked him to pull out the sword deep inside the treasury and added that the demon sealed there would grant him any wish. The blonde hero saw the sword where the whispers are coming, and he is hesitating whether he will follow the whisper. The blonde hero was hesitating and thinking about it, since it's a demon, but will give any of his wishes. The servant asked him who he was talking to, and he just asked if the servant couldn't hear the voice. The voice asked the blonde hero what was wrong, and if he really wanted power, the hero should not get cold feet and hesitate to pull the sword. Because of that, the blonde hero got mad and rushed towards the sword to pull it in order to buy the voice that only he can hear. He insists that no matter whether it's a demon's power or anything, he will use everything he can to have power. The blonde hero successfully pulled the sword from where it was before, and a powerful magic came out from it, so the servant asked him to step back because they might get hit by it. A whirlwind appeared, and a figure of a lady came out. She is the owner of the voice that the blonde hero heard. She introduced herself. Her name is Haya, and she is the demon who rules over the light and darkness. After she successfully revealed herself, she immediately asked if the blonde hero was the one who freed her from the seal. What will happen to the Cryroad Kingdom? Will the demon lord annihilate humanity? Where do Filio and the others go? What kind of creature awaits inside the seal as the blonde hero pulls the sword? Like and subscribe for more episodes. Thanks.